Hi guys, please subscribe to this channel and like the video to support my project, and we are starting a new adventure. Today I will show you the Museum of the History of Barcelona. This is an incredible place where you can immerse yourself in the history of Barcelona as well as stroll through the streets of the ancient Roman Empire. The museum is located in the building of the former royal palace, which was built in the 11th century. The main value of the Museum of the History of Barcelona is the archaeological excavations in the city, as a result of which the ruins of the Roman city of Barcino were discovered. Watch this video until the end to immerse yourself in the days of the Roman Empire. But we will start our journey from the above-ground part of the museum. Among the exhibits of the above-ground part, there are thousands of objects related to traditions, social life of citizens, culture, everyday life, actually everything that connected to the history of the city. A variety of materials cover a huge period of Barcelona's history, from the Neolithic to the present day. I will not be able to tell the history of all exhibits of this museum because I am not a professional guide and I visited this museum for the first time myself, so excuse me for that. But I can tell a brief history of the city. Before going down to the streets of the ancient city, we will look at the exhibits and remember the history of Barcelona. There are two different versions of the founding of Barcelona. According to the first, the city was founded by the mythical semi-deity Heracles during his heroic expeditions in the 12th century BC. The second version says that the small village of Barcino, on the site of which the city of Barcelona was formed centuries later, was founded by Hannibal's Carthaginian general and statesman's father, Hannibal Barca, in the 3rd century BC. In the 1st century BC, on the site of Barcelona was the small city of Laia. In 133 BC, it was conquered by the Romans under the leadership of Lucius Cornelius Scipio. Laia, due to its favorable location in the sea bay, becomes a military fort. The Romans gave the city its name, Faventia, or Colonia Faventia Julia Augusta Pia Barcino. It was under the Romans that the city began to experience its first heyday. And in the 4th century, the city was conquered by the Franks. The Franks gave the city its name, Sutenio. Since the 5th century, the city has been under the rule of the Visigoths, whose king Ataulf makes the city his capital and renamed it again, this time to Barcelona. From the beginning of the 8th century until the arrival of the French troops of Louis the Pious in 801, Barcelona was considered a Moorish territory. Further, for almost 200 years, the history of Barcelona was made by the Spanish margraves, the most famous of which was Wilfred the Hairy. He received the title of Count and Governor of Barcelona from the hands of Charles I the Bald, head of the Frankish army. At the same time, the city's flag appeared, a golden shield with 4 vertical red stripes. This flag Barcelona wears to this day. By the end of the first millennium, the Caliphate seized power in Cordoba. In 985, Al-Mansur practically destroyed the city. However, with the death of Al-Mansur in 1002, the Great Caliphate breaks up into many parts that are at war with each other. Now many small principalities owning their own fortresses and castles continuously wage war with each other during the reign of Count Borrell II of Barcelona. It was at this moment that the name of Catalonia appeared, the area belonging to the owners of castles, Catalans. Ramon Berenguer III the Great in 1117 was able to unite two countries in Catalonia and the Provence area into a single possession and win Majorca, Ibiza and Tarragona from the Moors. His work was continued by his son, Ramon Berenguer IV, who married the 3-year-old Petralina and held the throne of the neighboring kingdom of Aragon in 1137. From then on, this kingdom would be known as the Crown of Aragon. The next turning point in Barcelona's history was Pope Innocent III crusade against the Catalan heresy at the beginning of the 13th century. Languedoc nobles and many Catalans did not want to become Catholic. Don Pedro I led the rebel army and died in battle in 1213. As a result, the country of Barcelona lost a significant part of its possessions in France. From the 8th century, Spain began the Reconquista, the conquest of the original Catalan lands from the Muslims. The first recruitment of Moors and Jews into the ranks of Catholics began in the 13th century and continued in subsequent centuries throughout the efforts of the Holy Inquisition. The Reconquista ended with expulsion of the last Saracen ruler from the Iberian Peninsula in 1492 during the reign of Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile, with the unification of the most of Spain under the rule of Aragon. Barcelona of the 15th century was a large developing city in which science flourished. In particular, the famous University of Barcelona was founded in 1450. And in 1492, in the Grand Royal Palace, the ruling royal couple met Columbus, who returned from his first voyage to America. This audience marked the beginning of the process that would lead to the rise of France's influence on the world stage and the decline of Catalonia in the future. In 1520-1522, the troops of King Charles I suppressed the uprising. After Charles straight-headed himself in Spain, in 1522, he was declared the new Spanish king. Deprived Barcelona of many rights, began to control the supply of goods from the New World. In 1640, when Spain was at war with both France and Portugal, the Catalans took the side of France and proclaimed Louis XIII Count of Barcelona, with whom Spain was at war then. However, 12 years later, the French betrayed Catalonia by making a peace with the King of Spain. Philip I of Spain conquered Barcelona, and by Montreal Treaty, France received all Catalan land north of the Pyrenees. In 1701, Barcelona again betrayed, and this time by British and Dutch, in the struggle for the vacant Spanish throne. French and Spanish troops united held the city in a 30-month siege. Barcelona fell on September 11, 1714. Today in Barcelona, this day is celebrated as Catalonia Day. The Bourbons abolished many truly Barcelona municipalities. However, access to the sea was returned to Barcelona. The lifting of the ban on trade with American colonies turned the city to success. Trade and industry construction and the art flourished in Barcelona. In the 1770s, the Rambla Square appeared in the center. By the beginning of the 19th century, Barcelona was becoming the recognized industrial center of the Pyrenees. In 1832, the first factory in Spain appeared in the city, the machines of which were powered by steam. And in 1848, the first railway in the country was opened. The 20th century was marked for Barcelona by the development of a movement for national revival, which led in 1914 to the formation of an autonomical government. During the First World War, Barcelona remains neutral, which attracted people of art and science from all over Europe. In 1931, King Alfonso III abdicated and a republic was established in Catalonia, government by its own government called the Generalitat. In 1936, the military led by General Franco carried out a coup, as a result of which a civil war broke out in Barcelona between the Republicans and the Francoists. Mass executions, repressions, and deportations took place in the city. The Catalan language and Catalan symbols were banned. The power of the dictator ended only with his death in November 20, 1975. In 1978, a new constitution of Spain comes into force, and the country turns into a constitutional monarchy consisting of autonomies. The Basque Country and Catalonia, led by Barcelona, receives the most autonomous freedoms. This is a very brief history of Barcelona. All the exhibits that you saw during my story are associated with different periods of the history of the city. And we continue our walk through the museum. And now we will see that part of the museum that I talked about in the beginning of the video. We will go down to the underground part of the museum and go on a journey to the times of the Roman Empire. We will see the ruins of the Roman city Barcino. Your eyes will see the pavements and foundations of residential buildings of an ancient Roman settlement, Roman baths and a partially preserved plumbing system, rooms for making wine and salting fish. The area of the underground part is about 4,000 square meters. Movable finds, dishes, furniture, jewelry, coins migrated to the museum halls. This part of the museum simply captivated me. There is an incredible atmosphere. This is a great opportunity to feel the history and realize the transience of time. The exit of the museum coincides with the entrance to the royal palace. It houses Santa Agata, a chapel in which an incredible beautiful altar to John Uj is installed. And here in Tunnel Hall, Christopher Columbus is said to have first announced his discovery of America to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. That's all for today. I thank you for your attention. Please subscribe to my channel and like the video, and see you in the new interesting place.